we are with some more Cinderella phenomenon. I'm really excited to see what happens next. I'm loving this journey I'm taking with Rod. I think I wasn't super excited about him at first because of the whole stepbrother thing, and now I'm like starting to see past it because the story's just so good. Like with me getting closer to him and his sister, especially since we started at such a bad place. Anyway, I'm so excited. Let's keep cracking. Ooh, I changed it this time. Chapter 8, The Ball. Woo! I'm so excited. It is the day of the ball, and I am waiting for Emmeline to finish her last dance recital. The lesson was over an hour ago, but Emmeline remains here to continue practicing the steps. Meanwhile, I am preoccupied with the thoughts of Rod's curse. I cannot believe that Rod traded his voice for a title. So the reason the king was able to find Ophelia was because of Rod. It is a little difficult to wrap my head around the implications, but one thing bothers me. Rod told me why he has the curse, but he gave no explanation as to how to break it. How did it go in the original fairy tale? Emmeline finishes up the last steps of her routine before walking over to me. I hand her the glass of water I was holding for her. Thank you, April. Emmeline must notice my curiosity because she stops to look at me quizzically. Is something the matter? I read a little bit of that fairy tale but never finished it. Can you tell me the whole story of the Little Mermaid? The Little Mermaid? Emmeline takes a seat on one of the chairs bordering the throne room and gestures for me to take the one opposite her. Telling a fairy tale is always a good way to wind down. Once upon a time, there was a mermaid that fell in love with a handsome prince. One day, when she swam to the surface of the ocean to find him, she saw that the prince was celebrating his birthday on the grandest ship in the kingdom. The Little Mermaid was captivated by the human party and stayed to watch. Then suddenly, a violent storm hit and the prince was thrown from the ship into the ocean. The Little Mermaid saved the prince and took him safely to shore, but she could not stay long. She eventually had to return to the ocean and leave him on land. This is similar to Viorica's rescue. The Little Mermaid was so in love with the prince that she went to see a witch who offered to trade her a potion that would turn her mermaid's tail into legs. They struck a deal. The mermaid would sacrifice her beautiful voice for legs so that she could live with the prince on land. So in Rod's case, he traded away his voice to become a prince. However, the sea witch gave the Little Mermaid a warning and said that if she wasn't able to make the prince fall in love with her, there would be consequences. Oh no! The way to break the curse has got to be something about get Viorica to fall in love with him and... consequences. Yes, namely, if the prince fell in love and married someone else, the mermaid's heart would break and she would dissolve to sea foam. I knew it! I cannot help but recoil. My expression must betray my horror, because Emmeline quickly shakes her head. There is no need to be worried. Rod has said that his curse is different from the fairy tale. And you believe him? Emmeline shrugs helplessly as she puts down her now empty glass of water. The fairy tale curse always twists the original fairy tale, right? Besides, it's not as if Rod traded his voice for legs, and I've never heard of a cursed person that dies because they cannot break their curse. That may be true, but Emmeline does not know what Rod traded his voice for. She does not know that he did it to become a prince for Viorica. Rod is already hiding things from her. It is possible that Rod will die the day Viorica marries Desmond. Oh my god. Later that day, I find Rod in the dining hall. He appears to be inspecting the seating arrangements for the night's banquet. He glances up briefly to look at me before returning his attention to the placards with the guests' names on them. What is it? I have been looking for you all morning. I am distracted from what I'm about to say when I notice Rod switching the position of two placards. I frown as I catch the name on one of them. He is moving Viorica's place at the table. Is he trying to make sure she sits as far away from him as possible? Surely you have better things to do than stay in here. What happens if you cannot break your curse? Yeah! Here we go. Rod's movements stutter before he shakes his head sharply. That is something you do not need to know. Ah! Come on, Rod. I don't know. I feel like he's not going to respond to me getting angry with him. Based on our history. I'm going to try pleading with him. Something aches deep in my chest at Rod's coldness. Please. Oh. Rod startles so strongly that he almost drops the placard he is holding. Please, tell me. We have been partners for months now. But I've barely. Yes, I know that it is an unusual partnership. And that most of our helping each other has been subtle, but I am only one good deed away from breaking my curse, while you seem to be no closer to breaking your curse than when we started. I will do whatever I can to help you with your curse, Rod. Oh, yes! So please, let me help you. Silence falls. Moments later, Rod sighs and looks away from me. Some unspeakably sad emotion shines through his eyes. Even if I wanted your help, April, there's nothing you can do. Dread settles in the pit of my stomach at Rod's words. Could I be right? Will Rod actually die if he does not manage to break his curse? Emmeline told me the story of the Little Mermaid. She said that the mermaid dies if the prince marries someone else. Rod, when Viorka marries Desmond, will you? My voice trails off when I hear the sound of the door behind us. No! Is that Ophelia or the king? Rod rushes forward and grabs me before I can glance back at the door. Ow. I become aware of a weight holding me down to the floor. The impact of the ground against my head blurs my vision, making it impossible for me to see what is happening at first. Am I underneath the dining table? Are we gonna make out? I struggle to try to sit up, but the weight pushes down on me again, forcing me to be still. Quiet. Rod, why did he push me underneath the table? I'm about to ask him aloud when the sound of footsteps silences me. I cannot help but remember what Sir Mithros was saying about rumors. If Rod and I were seen alone together by the servants, the rumors will no doubt get worse. But why is Rod doing this? I stay quiet as the people that enter the dining hall begin to talk. How strange for this place to be empty at this time of day. There is a pause, and then another voice speaks up. You better have good news for me, Mithros. It's Sir Mithros and Sir Alcaster. Sir Alcaster and Sir Mithros. Rod's hands tighten on my shoulders. Everything is as you requested, Sir Alcaster. There should be no issues. There better not be. You've disappointed me before, Mithros. I would be careful not to try my patience again. Yes, Sir Alcaster. Sir Mithros sounds oddly subservient. But why? The two of them are ranked equally, and neither of them should have to answer to anyone other than the king. Unless Sir Alcaster truly is the witch, and is forcing Sir Mithros to obey him with a spell. Wait a few minutes after I leave. We should not be seen together. I do not hear Sir Mithros respond, but I can hear Sir Alcaster leaving the room. Sir Mithros sighs out, but is otherwise silent when he leaves the room after a few moments. I exhale fully as the door finally closes behind Sir Mithros. This is bad. I was so engrossed in Sir Alcaster and Sir Mithros' conversation that I only just now realized that Rod is hovering over me. Ah! Oh, oh my god! Hey, are you alright? Are you hurt? You look a little... Rod suddenly pauses as he notices our positions. He stares at me for a few moments, eyes wide. Oh! He scrambles out from underneath the dining table, and by the time I do the same, he is standing far away from me, his gaze fixed on the wall. He is bright red. It would be funny if I weren't sure I was the same color. Rod clears his throat. It seems that Sir Alcaster really is the witch if he has the ability to make Sir Mithros obey him. Lady Parfait should be told immediately. Rod turns on his heel to leave the dining room. Rod, wait! What? This is urgent, Princess. I can't just... When Viorica marries Decimond, will you die? Oh. Rod pauses for a moment, but I can tell from his pained expression that he will not speak. You're running out of time, Rod. My eyes flip between Sebi and Rod. What does that mean? Nothing. He turns away from me once again and starts walking away. Rod! There must be something in my voice that makes Rod stop because he turns to look at me. Please stop running away from this. What would knowing the answer achieve, April? Though Rod's words are harsh, his tone is soft. There is nothing anyone can do. Leave it alone, April. It's for the best. I cannot help but get mad at Rod's dismissive tone. I move toward him, frowning. How can you say something like that? You are not the only person that will be affected if you keep refusing to do anything to break your curse. Can you imagine what your death would do to your sister, to your mother? Losing you would destroy them. Rod's face is suddenly inches away from mine. He places his hand to the wall behind me, caging me in. His face is flushed with anger, but the look in his eyes is tormented. My family has been dealing with the consequences of my actions for the majority of my life. Don't think that I don't know what effect my curse has had on the people closest to me. Besides, I don't want to involve you in this too. His voice is a whisper, but I can still hear his words. Rod. Rod pushes away from me and stalks off as I stare after him. He says that, but then he still does nothing to try to break his curse. I do not understand him at all. What is stopping him? Guys, I'm getting emotional, God. Oh, man. Rod is absent from the palace for the rest of the day and returns only once the sun has set to prepare for the ball. I have not been able to talk to him since, but I assume that he has been to the Marchant to tell Delora and Parfait about our suspicions of Sir Alcaster being a witch. I hope they come up with an effective plan for dealing with him. The palace is not safe so long as he is here. The ball is just about to start that evening, and I have been asked to make sure none of the guests are lost and wandering the hallways. I have been walking around for a while, directing any late guests in the right direction. That should be everyone. But as I turn the corner, I notice two people lingering by a column. Sir Mithros and Sir Alcaster? Excuse me, the throne room is... I pause when I look more closely at the two men in front of me. I recognize one of them instantly. Yep. Ooh, and that Fitz-looking guy. Fitzgerald-looking guy. That I... Oh. Okay. What is Sir Alcaster doing outside the throne room? And who is that man he's with? Ah, April. Sir Alcaster gestures me toward him, and I approach warily. This is Varg. He's one of the guests for the ball. Varg sweeps aside his cape as he bows, and I curtsy and dip my head to hide my expression. I have not heard of a Varg. Why would he be bowing to a mere maid? Also, why is he wearing such an elaborate costume and mask? This is not a masquerade ball. If Varg is an acquaintance of Sir Alcaster, there is no telling what or who he truly is. Varg is one of the suitors for Princess Emmeline. Would you please escort him to the throne room? I will be along shortly. Varg's politeness is even more suspicious. Of course, Sir Alcaster. I meet Varg's gaze briefly and cannot help but frown at the way he is smirking at me. This way. Varg and I make our way toward the throne room. I cannot help but feel wary of the fact that he is following behind me where I cannot see him. If the maids are this lovely, the princess must be truly beautiful. Varg laughs and I grit my teeth at the sound. What? It was meant as a compliment. There's no need to look at me like that. Varg looks at me curiously. Are the maids not allowed to speak in this palace? I have nothing to say. Not the most cheerful person on staff, are you? Thankfully, the doors to the throne room appear as soon as we turn a corner, and I do not have to come up with a response to his words. We are here. I gesture toward the throne room and move to leave, but Varg's voice stops me. You should, at the very least, escort me inside and introduce me to the princess, don't you think? Isn't that what a maid should do? Technically, that is the announcer's job. But Varg came so late, he probably already missed the introductions. I wouldn't want to think badly of any of the servants at the palace. I take a deep breath to calm myself down before turning to the doors. Follow me. Oof. Coffee break. I can tell the moment I step into the room that the official introductions have already passed. Most of the guests have already begun to mingle and scatter across the throne room as the band sets up. No one notices when I walk into the throne room in front of Varg. I do not trust Varg, not if he is associated with Sir Alcaster. I might have time to warn someone about him while he was distracted. But who? Okay, so I can either warn Rod or I can warn Emmeline. Okay, so when I'm thinking back on my past choices, a wrong choice I made was when I told Rod about people saying bad things about his mom. I feel like the right choice isn't to tell Rod because he'll get mad about it. And the right choice is probably to warn Emmeline because she is my friend. I think she'll believe me, and I think she's the one who's going to be directly impacted. Does that make sense? Maybe I'm being dumb. I feel like I'm thinking too hard now. I'm just gonna do it. Warn Emmeline! My attention is quickly drawn to where Emmeline is moving between groups of people, introducing herself and making light conversation. I know this will be frowned upon, but Emmeline's safety must come first. Oh shit, frowned upon. Shoot. Oh shoot, frowned upon. Crap. I make my way quickly over to Emmeline and curtsy just off to the side, trying to draw as little attention to myself as possible. Princess Emmeline, may I have a word? Emmeline is clearly shocked at my intrusion, but she masks it well. Excuse me, it appears my maid has something for me. I draw her closer to the walls where the crowd blocks us from view. I wasn't expecting you to be here, April. Not that I mind, but won't you get into trouble? There is no time for that. I take her hand in mine and look at her somberly. You have to watch out for this man in a mask. Sir Alcaster brought him to the ball. Why should I be worried then? I cannot exactly tell her that I think he is a witch right now. There are too many people looking. Just please be wary of him. I'm sure there's nothing to be worried about from anyone here, April. Especially if Sir Alcaster is involved. Shoot! Made the wrong choice, didn't I? On the contrary, if Sir Alcaster is involved, I would also recommend staying on your guard, Emmeline. Rod! I turn in shock to see Rod suddenly standing beside me. I made the right choice? I feel like all of this is trying to tell me I did the wrong thing. You should trust April. Excuse me. I jump back at the sound of Varg's voice. Rod takes a step forward and places his hands on my shoulders to steady me. I don't believe we've been introduced. Varg looks at me for a few moments, but I say nothing. He eventually turns to Emmeline, a wolfish smile on his face. Wolfish? And there's this doodad right here. Interesting. My name is Varg, and you must be Princess Emmeline. The tales of your beauty did not do you justice. Emmeline flushes as Varg reaches for her hand. He presses a kiss to the back of it, still grinning. I can feel Rod tense behind me. May I have the first dance? Emmeline bites down on her lower lip as she stares at him. I become acutely aware of just how quiet the throne room has become. She cannot refuse him with so many people watching her. I feel sick, but I cannot bring myself to say anything more as Emmeline puts her hands in Varg's. I accept, Lord Varg. The moment Emmeline makes her way to the center of the dance floor, a man signals to the band and the musicians start playing. This feels wrong. I can only nod as I watch Varg pull Emmeline closer. At first, it is just he and Emmeline dancing, but then other couples gradually trickle in to join them. This is like reverse Cinderella. Like, we're all horrified with the person who stole the princess away to dance. Oh, shoot. I do not like this at all. Rod and I watch in silence as the first dance continues on. I know for a fact that Rod must see the dreamy smile on Emmeline's face as certainly as I can. When the music stops, both of us move as one toward Emmeline. Even though the dance is over and Varg has released her, they still stand close together in the center of the room. The silence is interrupted when the double doors open and Sir Alcaster, along with two knights, stalk into the center of the room where Emmeline and Varg stand. Their arrival causes an uneasy stir in the crowds. The king rises from his throne, eyebrows drawn. Alcaster, is there some kind of disturbance? Alcaster says nothing as the knights stationed around the room approach Emmeline and Varg and stand around them, encircling them. Are we already here? Emmeline's expression shifts from confusion to fear. The crowd becomes even more anxious. Alcaster, explain this. Alcaster briefly glances at him, but says nothing. He turns back to his knights and snaps his fingers. The knights pull out their swords and point them at Emmeline. I reach out to grab Rod's hand before he can make his way to her. Rod, it is too dangerous. I know, but thoughtless actions have the potential to put Emmeline in even more danger. Rod's only response is to tighten his grip on my hand. I place my other hand over his to reassure him, and slowly but surely his grip begins to loosen. I turn my gaze back to the king. Alcaster, stop this immediately. What do you think you're doing? Something I should have done a long time ago. I have been nothing but loyal to this kingdom, and all I ever wanted was for Angiel to thrive. But ever since the queen died, this kingdom has become weak. It is because you are a weak ruler, Gennaro. What? The people were more productive back then, more disciplined during the late queen's reign. The kingdom has become less productive without fear to drive them. When there is power, there is order. Power is not something that should be needlessly used to control people. It is used to protect them. You, of all people, should know that. Sir Alcaster shakes his head. I, of all people, know that order is what makes a hierarchy stronger. I am only doing what is necessary. I am reorganizing the system. Oh. Hand over the crown, Gennaro. Sir Alcaster turns his head to Varg, who remains standing beside a scared Emmeline. You will obey me if you do not want your precious daughter harmed. Please leave my daughter out of this. Emmeline steps back, her eyes now brimming with tears. Varg, seize the princess! As soon as Alcaster gives the order, Rod immediately lets go of my hand and rushes toward his sister. Rod, no! I quickly follow after him, but Rod suddenly stops in his tracks. I bump abruptly into his back. Rod! Varg! Sir Alcaster's booming voice echoes around the room, which has suddenly gone eerily silent. My eyes move to Varg, but he is standing motionless. What is happening? Finally, Varg smirks. He steps to the side, standing in front of Emmeline as if to block her from view. Sir Varg. You must be delusional, old man. I'm not letting you anywhere near the princess. Okay, Varg, what's your deal, mister? The knight's next movements are a blur as they rush at Sir Alcaster. In mere moments, he has been disarmed and pinned to the ground. Several more knights have also appeared from behind us to surround Sir Alcaster. A man emerges from in between the circle of knights. He moves to stand beside Varg and Emmeline. Sir Mithros looks at Sir Alcaster disdainfully. What is the meaning of this, Mithros? We had a deal. The anger is now palpable in Sir Alcaster's flushed face. Did we now? Mithros, explain yourself. Sir Mithros drops to one knee in front of the king. Of course, your majesty. He raises his head slightly to look at the king. I've known for a long while that the man you see before you is the traitor. I was even aware of his plans, but I could not tell you of them without any evidence. 2 of your knights had tried to inform you of these plans before, but We all looked down at them with disdain. I had to make sure that I did not come unprepared, like they did. Oh! Jurian and Garland? What? Both of them knew of Sir Alcaster's plans. Was that the reason why they were dishonorably discharged? For false accusations? I knew enough of his plan that I could thwart it. This is why I thought the best way to reveal his dastardly ways was to craft a fake alliance with him. Sir Varg and I have been working together to unravel Alcaster's plans, Your Majesty. Varg is an invaluable accomplice. Wait, so Sir Mithros has been pretending to work with Sir Alcaster this whole time? So we arrived at the events of tonight. I apologize for undertaking this task without seeking your counsels, Your Majesty. But I could think of no better way to end this madness once and for all. You lying snake! Sir Mithros stands and turns to Alcaster. He gestures at him dismissively. Seize him. The knight's next movements are a blur. The men rush Sir Alcaster all at once, and in mere moments Sir Alcaster has been disarmed and is now pinned to the ground. Isn't Sir Alcaster a witch? Why is he not using his magic? 'Cause he's not a witch. Mithros, I am indebted to you for saving us. The whole kingdom is. I only did what was necessary, Your Majesty. The king glances at the knights, then at Sir Alcaster, his gaze steely. Take him away. Sir Alcaster struggles uselessly against the knights as they drag him away. He is nearly out the door when he starts screaming at the king. Gennaro, you are a fool. That man is a witch, a snake. You cannot trust him, yeah! Truth, truth, bomb, truth, bomb. No, Alcaster. I was wrong to put my trust in you. Even as Sir Alcaster is pulled from the room, we can hear him babbling in the hallways about a witch. Sir Alcaster never used any magic to escape. Was he truly not a witch? No, he wasn't! Are you all right, Princess? I am pulled from my thoughts when I hear Varg's voice. He is now trying to comfort a shaken Emmeline. For a few moments, he looks away and his eyes meet mine. He smiles, but it is fleeting, and moments later, his attention is back on Emmeline. The ball comes to an abrupt end after Alcaster's stunt. He is thrown into a jail cell and promised a trial in a few days' time, where he will be tried for treason against the kingdom. I still can't believe Sir Alcaster would do something like that, and so brazenly, too. I wonder, what happened to Sir Fitzgerald? They say he vanished completely last night. Do you think he was working with his father? No, I think he's Varg. I think Fritz has a split personality here. The truth is, I have no idea what to think. I had thought that I had everything figured out, but now I become more and more confused by the moment. Fritz was always loyal to a fault, but then Sir Alcaster was the same way with the king, and I have not seen or heard of Fritz for weeks. I cannot really say. Good morning, Princess Emmeline. Sir Varg. Varg was offered a room at the palace for a few days' visit. He is being treated as Sir Mithros' valued guest. I have heard from the other servants that he is Sir Mithros' relative who lives in a neighboring kingdom. I hope you're feeling well now, Princess. I think that's all a lie, because I think he's Fritz. Yes, thank you for your help last night. I need to go back and watch my playthrough of the end of Rumples. I feel like it's been long enough now where I'm starting to forget things, and I'm wondering if this is playing out differently than it did last time. Is Emmeline blushing? Varg and Emmeline sitting in a tree. Kissing. I know I won't be here long, but I do hope to get to know you better during the duration of my stay. I would love that. Then I'm looking forward to spending more time with you. Oh, I forgot that I meant to be in my mother's room right now. April, Sir Varg, I'll see you both later. I curtsy as Emmeline walks off, leaving me alone with Varg. I cannot help but feel uneasy in his presence. Something about him puts me on edge. He makes me feel uncomfortable. Excuse me, I have errands to attend to. Wait. Before you head out, I have something to give you. Give me. Varg reaches into one of his pockets and withdraws a letter that he holds out to me. A letter? What is this about? Well, I guess you'll have to open it to find out, Princess. Oh! My blood turns to ice in my veins. He knows I am the princess. That could only mean he is. Wait, I know this. I know this, don't I? I know this. Is this something I found out last time? I have no idea what you were talking about. Excuse me. Yes, I did know this last time. God, I'm such a dummy. I'm about to leave when Varg suddenly grabs my wrist. The play is just about to start, Princess. You have a responsibility as the main character to perform impeccably until the very end. I feel like he's talking to, like me, April, not Princess April. Otherwise, well... He grins at me. It is the same wolfish grin that he flashed at me during the ball. You might miss out on your fairy tale ending. What? Before I can say anything else, I feel a hand grip my other arm. Someone tugs me back and away from Varg, then comes to stand in front of me. Rod! Stay away from her! Rod! Varg looks at Rod, then at me, his smile growing more crooked. What an interesting turn of events. I wonder how this will end for the both of you. Tell me, April, what is he to you? Far be it from me to put him in the friend zone. I'm gonna try to stop overthinking things. No answer. Be in denial all you want. At the end of the day, you're gonna have to decide who and what you will choose. Who or what to choose? Silence! You are harassing one of our staff members. See, when I just relax, I do fine. I've got good instincts. Of course. I apologize for my rude behavior, Your Highness. You seem to know a lot about us. Are you a... I lower my voice. Are you a witch? You're asking the wrong person, Princess. He knows who you really are. I think you two are worrying too much about me. After all, I'm just a pawn in this game. Varg dips into an elegant bow and flashes one last smile before walking away. Are you all right? I am. Thank you for helping me. You know I'd do anything for you. What? What? Rod shakes his head before stepping away. Anything. For me. Rod coughs, pulling me from the thought. Is it possible that he is a witch, or that he is working with other witches? But we have no... It is possible that he is a witch, or that he's working with other witches, but we have no evidence to prove it. Until we find out what's going on, you need to be wary of him. I know. Rod smiles at me gently. The look makes my heart thud once, painfully in my chest. Stop staring at me like that. Rod looks away, his cheeks tinged red. I feel my own cheeks warm at the sight. I wasn't staring at all. Both of you are hopeless. Shut up, Sebby! Rod gives me one last look before finally turning and walking away. I place my hand over my chest where I can still hear my thudding heartbeat. This feeling. If it is what I think it is, then I have no right to feel that way about him. He is my stepbrother. I shake my head to clear the thought, then glance down at the letter that Varg just delivered to me. There is only one sentence written on it. Come to the throne room alone tonight. Oh no! Ah! Oh my god! Oh, the name of the chapter! No! Ah! Oh my god, the name of the next chapter! All of this. I can't handle it. I can't wait to record the next one. Thank you guys so much for going on this journey with me. Oh my god, I'm freaking out. Feel free to follow me on the relevant social media that I'm linking below. I'm very active on Twitch. Come find me, come hang out, come say hi. like, comment, subscribe. I know I'm giving you a lot of orders right now. I'm just really flipped out about what this video was. Oh my god. Thank you guys so much. And hopefully see you next time. Bye! And the beat drops. Here we are in the Club Cinderella phenomenon. Come on, let's go. A princess lives in a fair